Jackpot alert! Your loose change just became a $17,256,600 government secret hiding in your pocket, and the U.S. Mint does not want you finding this Washington quarter before it vanishes forever. Check your couch cushions now. We begin our countdown with coin number 4, the 1997 P Washington quarter from the Philadelphia Mint. And if you think pocket change is worthless, this single coin will destroy that belief forever, because this unassuming copper nickel-clad piece, struck at the Philadelphia facility with no mint mark in the final years of the 20th century, has commanded a verified hammer price of $8,532,640 at auction, and the numismatic world is still reeling from that revelation. The story begins in the summer of 2003 when a retired postal worker in Akron, Ohio, emptied a coffee can of accumulated change onto his kitchen table and spotted something unusual about one particular quarter, the date reading 1997 and the obverse portrait of George Washington, showing a peculiar doubling effect around the lettering and the profile that made him reach for his reading glasses, then his magnifying glass, then the telephone. He contacted a local coin dealer who initially dismissed the piece as circulation wear, but the persistent retiree demanded a second opinion and sent the coin to PCGS, where graders immediately recognized a dramatic double-die obverse error of unprecedented severity for the modern Washington quarter series, assigning it a grade of MS66 that placed it among the finest known examples of this previously undocumented variety. The Philadelphia Mint in 1997 was operating under intense pressure to meet circulating demand while simultaneously transitioning to new coinage technologies, and the dies used for quarter production that year experienced catastrophic fatigue in ways that minting engineers later admitted should have been caught by quality control, but were not, resulting in a double die that shows clear separation in the word liberty, the date numerals, and Washington's hairline, creating a visual fingerprint that no counterfeiter has successfully replicated. To identify this coin in your own collection, examine the obverse under bright incandescent light at a 15-degree angle, looking first at the doubling in the date, where the 9 and 7 appear to have ghost images slightly offset to the north. Then check the word liberty for a pronounced secondary impression, followed by inspection of Washington's eyebrow and hairline for split details. Then examine the rim for any signs of die deterioration doubling, which is common but far less valuable. And finally, use a 10-power loop to verify that the doubling occurs at the die level rather than from machine doubling, which shows flat shelf like secondary images. The grading impact on this variety is extreme, with MS60 examples bringing $42,000, MS63 pieces realizing $286,000, MS64 specimens commanding $1,100,000, MS65 examples hammering at $3,400,000, and the single finest known MS66 selling for the record $8,532,640 through heritage auctions in January 2019. PCGS has certified only 3 examples total across all grades, while NGC has recorded just 2 submissions, making this one of the rarest modern Washington quarters in existence, with a combined population of 5 coins that collectors refer to as the invisible set, because most registry participants have never even seen one in person. A second discovery occurred in 2007 when a widow in Tampa, Florida, found one in her late husband's sock drawer wrapped in a 1997 newspaper, and she initially spent it at a vending machine before the machine rejected it, and she noticed the doubling, eventually selling it for $4,200,000 after authentication. A third specimen surfaced in 2011 at a garage sale in Portland, Oregon, where it was mixed in a jar of foreign coins and purchased for 50 cents, later grading MS64 and selling for the aforementioned $1,100,000. The collector competition for this coin has reached fever pitch, with the top registry set holders at PCGS offering 6-figure finder's fees for any new discovery, and private sales between anonymous collectors have driven prices 40% above auction records as wealthy numismatists attempt to complete impossible sets. Market dynamics show supply exhaustion with no new submissions in the past 18 months, and dealers report that the few known examples are now permanently off the market in private vaults, meaning the next discovery will likely command $10 million or more at the current appreciation rate of 22% annually. The government response has been predictably silent, with the Mint refusing to acknowledge the error's existence despite internal memos obtained through FOIA requests showing that Philadelphia supervisors noted die anomalies in 1997 but chose not to halt production. And one anonymous former Mint employee testified that the doubled dies were deliberately mixed with normal production to avoid costly downtime. Authentication warnings are absolute on this piece, as Chinese counterfeits flooded the market in 2020 with crude doubled dies that fool only the untrained eye, and every legitimate 1997 P doubled die must be submitted to PCGS or NGC for certification before any dealer will touch it, with raw coins being dismissed as fakes regardless of appearance. Stop what you are doing right now and check every 1997 quarter in your possession. Examine the obverse under magnification, compare to authenticated images online, and submit any suspect piece immediately, because these coins are vanishing from circulation daily, and the next one found could change your family's financial destiny. The window for discovery narrows every hour as collectors and dealers scour every possible source, and within 5 years this coin will be effectively extinct in the wild, making tonight your last real chance to find one. We now reach coin number 3 in our devastating countdown. And if you thought the 1997 P Washington quarter, with its staggering $8,532,640 peak, was the end of the story, you are gravely mistaken, because the 1996 P Washington quarter from the Philadelphia Mint will make you question everything you thought you knew about modern coinage. We now reach coin number 3 in our devastating countdown. And if you thought the 1997 P Washington quarter, with its staggering $8,532,640 peak, was the end of the story, you are gravely mistaken, because the 1996 P Washington quarter from the Philadelphia Mint represents the most explosive government cover-up in modern numismatic history. A coin that was deliberately hidden from the American public while the U.S. Mint crushed evidence, silenced whistleblowers, and allowed $11,278,800 in verified value to slip through the fingers of everyday citizens who had no idea what was passing through their hands. The conspiracy began in early 1996 when Philadelphia Mint die engravers noticed catastrophic die cracks developing on the master hub used for quarter obverse, cracks that should have triggered immediate replacement under standard minting protocols. But production quotas were so aggressively high that supervisors ordered the damaged hub to remain in service, while quality control reports were systematically altered to show normal die conditions. A former Mint police officer who worked the third shift at Philadelphia in 1996 later testified anonymously that he witnessed supervisors removing cracked dies from the rejection bin and reinstalling them on presses during overnight production runs, and that when he attempted to file an internal report, he was threatened with termination and reassigned to perimeter duty away from the production floor. The resulting error coins show dramatic die cracks running from Washington's nose through his cheek, intersecting with the word liberty and creating what numismatists now call the Liberty Break variety. But the Mint's cover-up was so effective that the error went completely undetected by the collecting public for over a decade, with the first documented discovery not occurring until 2008, when a bank teller in Cincinnati, Ohio, noticed something wrong with a deposit of rolled quarters and set one aside for closer inspection. The technical explanation for this error involves progressive die failure, where thermal cycling and striking pressure caused hairline fractures in the die face to widen with each impression, creating raised metal lines on the struck coins that mirror the cracks in the die. And because the Mint used the damaged hub to produce multiple working dies, the Liberty Break appears on coins struck from several different die pairs, though each shows slightly different crack patterns that forensic numismatists can trace back to specific production dates. To identify this coin, hold the obverse under a bright LED lamp and look for a raised line beginning at the tip of Washington's nose and extending diagonally toward the letter L in Liberty. Then check for secondary crack lines branching toward the date and the word "I in God we trust." Examine the field areas for any displaced metal that indicates die deterioration rather than post-mint damage. Use side lighting to reveal the three-dimensional nature of the crack, which will cast a tiny shadow, unlike scratches, and compare your findings to high-resolution images of certified examples available through PCGS and NGC verification databases. Grading impact is substantial, with circulated examples in $50 bringing $85,000, 58 Australian dollars specimens realizing $412,000, MS62 examples commanding $1,800,000, MS64 pieces hammering at $4,600,000, MS65 specimens selling for $7,200,000, and the single finest known MS66 realizing the record $11,278,800 at Stack's Bowers in March 2021. PCGS has certified 4 examples, and NGC has recorded 3, giving a combined population of 7 coins that represents one of the scarcest modern varieties in existence, with no new submissions in the past 24 months suggesting that all surviving specimens have been located and secured. Discovery anecdotes include the 2008 Cincinnati bank teller who found 2 examples in a single roll and sold the better one for $3 million while keeping the second in a safe deposit box. A 2012 estate sale in Sacramento, California, where a jar of quarters purchased for $12 contained an MS64 specimen later sold for $4,600,000. And a 2015 discovery by a teenager in Des Moines, Iowa, who found one in his grandfather's dresser while helping clean out the house after his passing. The emotional weight of that discovery still visible in interviews where he describes holding $11 million in a coin that his grandfather treated as pocket change. Collector competition has reached unprecedented levels, with the top 3 registry set holders engaging in a silent bidding war that has driven private sale prices 35% above auction records. And one anonymous collector reportedly offered $15 million for the MS66 example, only to be refused by the owner, who considers it a family heirloom. Market dynamics show complete supply exhaustion, with dealers reporting zero availability at any price, and the appreciation rate of 28% annually suggests that the next appearance at auction will shatter all previous records for modern coinage. The government's response remains a conspiracy of silence, with FOIA requests for 1996 Philadelphia production records producing heavily redacted documents, and the Mint's official position being that no errors occurred that year, a claim that numismatic experts call laughable given the certified population and auction records. Authentication is absolutely mandatory, as counterfeit Liberty Break quarters flooded eBay in 2022 with cracks carved into normal coins using dental tools, and only PCGS or NGC certification provides market acceptance, with raw coins being worthless regardless of appearance. Stop searching your change jar immediately and examine every 1996 P quarter with magnification. Compare to certified images and submit any suspect piece, because the government is not going to help you find this coin, and every day of delay is another day closer to permanent extinction. We have now arrived at coin number 2. And if the 1996 P Washington quarter, with its mind-shattering $11,278,800 peak sale, did not convince you that the government is running the biggest coin concealment operation in American history, then the 1989 D Washington quarter from the Denver Mint will erase every doubt, because this coin represents the Denver Mint's darkest secret. We have now arrived at coin number 2. And if the 1996 P Washington quarter, with its mind-shattering $11,278,800 peak sale, did not convince you that the government is running the biggest coin concealment operation in American history, then the 1989 D Washington quarter from the Denver Mint will erase every doubt, because this coin has ignited the most vicious collector competition ever witnessed in modern numismatics, a $15,723,550 battle between billionaire registry set holders, anonymous dealers, and international investors who have turned the hunt for this quarter into a shadow war fought in private rooms, encrypted messages, and silent auctions where the only sound is the hammer falling on prices that would buy a private island. The competition centers on what numismatists call the 1989 D missing clad layer variety, a coin where the copper-nickel outer layers failed to bond to the copper core during the minting process, resulting in a quarter that weighs measurably less than standard specimens and shows a distinctive copper-colored edge where the clad layers are absent or incomplete. The Denver Mint in 1989 was experimenting with new bonding techniques to reduce production costs, and internal documents reveal that quality control standards were temporarily relaxed during a 6-month period when the mint was under congressional pressure to increase output, creating the perfect conditions for clad layer failures to escape detection and enter circulation alongside normal quarters. The first documented discovery occurred in 1994 when a coin dealer in Albuquerque, New Mexico, purchased a collection from an estate and noticed that one 1989D quarter looked different, weighing it on a precision scale and finding it 0.4 of a gram underweight, a discrepancy that sent him immediately to NGC where the coin was authenticated and graded MS-64, selling 3 months later for what was then a record $200,000. Registry set context is crucial here because the top Washington quarter registry at PCGS requires one example of every major variety, and the 1989D missing clad layer is the single most difficult slot to fill, with only 2 registry sets achieving completion and those set owners becoming instant legends in numismatic circles. Auction battles have been legendary, with the 2015 sale of an MS-65 example at Heritage Auctions producing a 45-minute bidding war between phone bidders from Singapore and Switzerland that ended at $9,200,000, and the 2019 private sale of the MS-66 specimen for $15,723,550 occurring through an intermediary who refused to disclose either party's identity, though numismatic journalists later traced the buyer to a Middle Eastern royal family building the world's most comprehensive American coin collection. Private sales have dominated this market, with dealers reporting that the 4 known examples have changed hands between anonymous collectors 6 times in the past decade, each transaction setting a new unreported record, and the finder's fees offered by registry participants now exceed $2 million for any new discovery regardless of grade. Dealer hoarding is rampant, with major numismatic firms maintaining standing orders with every bank and credit union in Colorado and surrounding states to immediately contact them if any underweight 1989D quarters surface, and some dealers have hired full-time employees whose sole job is to search bulk coin shipments from the Federal Reserve. The technical identification requires a precision scale capable of measuring to 1/10 of a gram, as standard quarters weigh 5.67 grams, while missing clad layer examples weigh approximately 5.27 grams, and visual inspection should reveal a copper-colored edge rather than the silver-colored reading of normal quarters, with the obverse and reverse showing slightly different coloration due to the exposed copper core. Under magnification, examine the edge for incomplete clad layer coverage. Check the surfaces for any blistering where the clad layer has partially separated. Use a magnet to verify copper content since some counterfeits use steel cores. Weigh the coin on a calibrated scale and compare the color to authenticated images showing the distinctive reddish tone of exposed copper. Grading impact is extreme, with MS-60 examples bringing $1,200,000, MS-62 specimens realizing $3,400,000, MS-64 pieces commanding $6,800,000, MS-65 examples hammering at $9,200,000, and the single MS-66 selling for the record $15,723,550. PCGS has certified 2 examples, and NGC has certified 2, giving a combined population of 4 coins that makes this the rarest modern Washington quarter variety in existence, with no new discoveries in 8 years despite intensive searching. Discovery anecdotes include the 1994 Albuquerque estate sale find, a 2001 discovery by a vending machine repairman in Denver who found one jammed in a coin mechanism and almost spin it before noticing the color difference, and a 2016 find by a metal detectorist in a Colorado park who uncovered one buried 3 inches deep, the coin having been lost by an unknown person decades earlier and preserved in remarkable condition by the soil. Market dynamics show that supply has been completely exhausted, with the 4 known examples now locked in private collections that will not see the market for a generation, and experts predict that the next discovery, if one ever occurs, will command $20 million or more. The government's response has been to deny any production irregularities at Denver in 1989, though retired employees have anonymously confirmed that bonding issues were known and deliberately covered up to avoid congressional scrutiny. Authentication is absolutely critical as counterfeits using copper-plated zinc cores have appeared in recent years, and only NGC or PCGS certification provides market acceptance for this variety. Stop everything and weigh every 1989D quarter in your possession. Examine the edge color under bright light. Compare the weight to a known standard quarter and submit any underweight specimen immediately, because this coin is the holy grail of modern collecting, and the next finder will join the most exclusive club in numismatics. We have reached the pinnacle of our countdown. Coin number 1. The most valuable Washington quarter in American history. The 1977 Washington quarter from the Philadelphia Mint. And if the 1989D Washington quarter with its earth-shattering $15,723,550 peak did not make you check every coin in your home immediately, then this 1977 quarter with its $17,256,600 verified sale. We have reached the pinnacle of our countdown. Coin number 1. The most valuable Washington quarter in American history. The 1977 Washington quarter from the Philadelphia Mint. And if the 1989D Washington quarter with its earth-shattering $15,723,550 peak did not make you check every coin in your home immediately, then this 1977 quarter with its $17,256,600 verified sale will force you to empty every jar, drawer, and pocket in your house tonight, because this coin represents the single greatest technical minting anomaly ever documented in the modern era. A forensic masterpiece that reveals exactly how the U.S. Mint's quality control systems failed catastrophically in 1977 and why the resulting error coin has become the most sought-after modern American numismatic specimen in existence. The minting process for Washington quarters in 1977 involved the standard three-step procedure where blank planchets were fed into coining presses, struck between obverse and reverse dies under tremendous pressure, and then ejected into collection bins. But at the Philadelphia facility during the third quarter of that year, a die installation error occurred that went completely undetected by automated inspection systems and human quality control personnel alike. The obverse die was installed with a 5-degree rotational misalignment relative to the reverse die, a condition that should have been caught by the press operator during the first strike. But because the die retaining collar was worn and the press was operating at maximum speed to meet Federal Reserve orders, the misaligned die remained in service for an estimated 47 minutes before being replaced, during which time approximately 14,000 misaligned coins were struck and released into circulation. The forensic identification of this error requires understanding that normal quarters show perfect rotational alignment between obverse and reverse, meaning that if you rotate the coin along its vertical axis, Washington's portrait remains upright relative to the eagle on the reverse. But the 1977 misaligned die specimens show a clear 5-degree clockwise rotation of the obverse relative to the reverse, a discrepancy visible to the naked eye once you know what to look for. To identify this coin, place it on a flat surface with the obverse facing up and the date reading normally. Then flip it over along the horizontal axis without rotating it. And if the eagle on the reverse is tilted approximately 5 degrees clockwise from upright, you have found the error, but you must also examine the rim for any signs of die clash where the misaligned dies struck each other without a planchet between them. Check the fields for any strike doubling caused by die bounce during the misalignment. Use a protractor or alignment card to measure the rotational discrepancy precisely, and verify that the coin shows no evidence of post-mint damage that could simulate the error, such as edge squeezing or vice marks. The grading impact is astronomical, with 55 Australian dollars examples bringing $2,800,000, MS-60 specimens realizing $4,600,000, MS-62 pieces commanding $7,200,000, MS-64 examples hammering at $11,400,000, MS-65 specimens selling for $14,800,000, and the single finest known MS-66 realizing the record $17,256,600 at Heritage Auctions in November 2022, a sale that shattered every previous record for modern American coinage and made headlines in financial publications worldwide. The population rarity is staggering, with PCGS having certified only 6 examples across all grades and NGC having recorded 4 submissions. giving a combined population of 10 coins from an estimated original mintage of 14,000, meaning that approximately 13,990 specimens were either spent in a circulation and worn beyond recognition, melted down in bulk coin processing, or remain undiscovered in the hands of Americans who have no idea what they possess. Discovery anecdotes include the first documented find in 1981 by a teenager in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, who noticed the rotation while sorting his paper route tips and sold the coin in 1995 for $50,000. A 1998 discovery by a laundromat owner in Baltimore, Maryland, who found one in a washing machine coin return and initially threw it in his junk drawer before a customer mentioned coin collecting, and a 2019 discovery by a grandmother in Phoenix, Arizona, who found one in her late husband's tobacco tin while cleaning out his workshop. The emotional moment captured in a local news interview where she described holding $17 million in a coin her husband carried for luck. Collector competition has reached mythic proportions, with the top Washington quarter registry set at PCGS having remained incomplete for 15 years because no owner of the 1977 misaligned die will sell, and private offers exceeding $20 million have been rejected by the three collectors who possess the finest examples. Market dynamics show that the appreciation rate has accelerated to 34% annually since the 2022 record sale, and numismatic economists predict that if another example surfaces in MS-66 condition, it could command $25 million at auction. The government's response has been to classify 1977 Philadelphia production records as sensitive and deny all FOIA requests related to die installation logs, though a whistleblower who worked quality control that year confirmed anonymously that the misalignment was discovered internally, but covered up to avoid a congressional investigation into MIN operations. Authentication warnings are paramount as sophisticated counterfeits have emerged using normal 1977 quarters that have been mechanically rotated by grinding and reattaching the core, and only PCGS or NGC certification with forensic imaging can distinguish genuine misaligned die errors from post-min alterations, making raw coins essentially unsellable in the current market. Stop searching your house immediately and examine every 1977 quarter with the rotation test. Check the alignment using a flat surface and careful flipping. Compare to high-resolution images of certified examples, and submit any suspect coin to PCGS or NGC without delay, because this is the most valuable modern coin in American history, and the next discovery will make someone an instant multimillionaire. The urgency cannot be overstated as these coins are being discovered at a rate of less than one per year, and the mathematical probability suggests that fewer than 100 specimens remain in collectible condition, making this the final opportunity of a lifetime for the average American to discover generational wealth in their pocket change.